Hello my dear students, welcome to another video session from Kanis Biology. And you knew that we have started the lesson what is science, and today we are going to talk about steps in scientific method. Students, in this session I am going to give a brief introduction to the definition, and we will also be discussing about the steps in scientific method. So let us enter into the topic.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Children, in this session we are going to talk about scientific method. Children, you already knew, and I told you that scientists, they observe the nature and its laws. Children, everything in nature happens because of a reason. Without reason, nothing happens, isn't it? So the job or the duty of a scientist or a duty of anybody is to observe the nature and find out the reasons behind the natural phenomena that are occurring in the nature, and basing on the observations made by so many people, we can formulate certain laws, isn't it? And what the scientists do, they discover the secrets of nature. Okay, and based on these discoveries and inventions, different innovations take place. But do you know, children, how the scientists discover and make inventions like this? Do they follow any specific way? Do they have any specific style of working? Yes, children. Every scientist, when he observes and when he discovers something, he was actually following a specific way of study. There is a specific way for the study in science. Okay, and every scientist will follow the specific way for their discoveries and innovations. Okay, and the way they follow is called scientific method. Okay, children, did you understand? That method is called scientific method. So what is scientific method? The way or the method followed by scientists is called scientific method. But what is so special in this method? Children, it is a very simple method in which there are a few steps which you have to follow. And every scientist follow those fundamental steps which are present in the scientific method. And as a result, they are able to make discoveries and inventions. Children, you also can become a scientist if you learn how to study in a scientific way. But children, don't think that the scientific method is meant only for making inventions. You can also use this scientific method in solving your day-to-day problems. We come across different problems in our day-to-day life. If you want to solve those problems, or if you want to find out the reason behind anything wrong going on somewhere, you can follow the scientific method and discover the reason behind the problem. Okay, that's why the scientists use organized ways called scientific methods to plan and conduct a study. So children, are you ready to find out what is scientific method and what are the steps in scientific method? So without delay, let us start. Children, there are some fundamental steps in the scientific method. What are they? The first step in the scientific method is observe and ask questions. And the second step is form a hypothesis. Third step, plan an experiment. Fourth step, conduct experiment. And the fifth one, draw conclusions and communicate results. You may not understand anything simply by looking at these steps. But believe me, children, these steps are very, very easy steps which you can also follow in your daily life to solve your day-to-day problems. So the first step in the scientific method is observe and ask questions. Children, you know that we have 5 sense organs. We have eyes to see, nose to smell, tongue to taste, skin to feel your surroundings, and ears to hear. And what are these sense organs meant for? These sense organs are windows to the world. It is with the help of these sense organs you are able to find out what's happening around you. Is it not, children? So when you observe your world, or when you observe the nature or your surroundings, you can identify so many problems, and you also sometimes want to find out the reasons behind these problems. So definitely you may find some problems around you when you make a keen observation by using your senses. I told you that you will identify some problems. Then what you should do after identifying the problem? After identifying the problem, you have to record one question. There is a problem you found, and there may be a reason for the problem. Now you formulate a question. Why is it happening? So that is the first step in scientific method, which is observing the nature and asking the questions. Okay, so let me explain this with an example. There was a boy by name Ramu, and Ramu, while helping his mother in kitchen, he observed a bulb which is not glowing. So what is the problem here? The problem is the bulb was not glowing. Why the bulb in the kitchen is not glowing? And after recording the question, what you should do? After recording the question, you should write down what you already know about the topic of your question. Okay, in this example, what was the question? Why the bulb in the kitchen is not glowing? And Ramu would have already knew something about that. Now what you must do after identifying the question, you have to write down what you already know about the topic of your question. For example, in this case, Ramu knew that the bulb glows because of the filament, and the bulb glows with the help of electricity. The bulb glows because from the switchboard the electricity is supplied to the bulb with the help of wire, and there is also a fuse to the switchboard. There is also a switch to switch on and switch off the bulb, right? So this is the information Ramu already knew. Okay, so then what you should do after identifying the problem, after asking the question, and after collecting information about the problem, then you must further proceed to the next step. And what is the next step? The next step is forming a hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis, it's a very simple concept. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is the possible answer for the problem which can be tested. Children, what did you understand by this? Hypothesis is the possible answer for the problem which can be tested. So hypothesis is nothing but writing the possible reason for the problem, or writing the possible answer for the problem that you have identified. For example, in this case, the Ramu have made some hypothesis. The first hypothesis may be fused bulb. The bulb was not glowing because the filament in the bulb might have burnt and the bulb got fused. That is why it may not be working. There may be second reason that he may guess. Okay, hypothesis is nothing but guessing the reasons behind the problem. That's all. And the second hypothesis that Ramu has made is wire problem. You know, children, Ramu already knew that a wire is required for the bulb to connect with the switchboard so that electricity can be supplied to the bulb. So the second hypothesis may be the wire that is supplying the electricity to the bulb would have damaged, or it would have burnt, or it would have cut by any rat, is it not? So there may be problem with wire, and he can make some other guess. And another guess may be switch problem. The switch on the switchboard might have broken, or it might be damaged, because of which the switch may not be working. Remember children, all these are not the reasons. These are the possible reasons because of which the bulb may not be glowing. And the next hypothesis that he made is fuse problem. You know that every switchboard has a fuse. Sometimes if the thin wire in the fuse is cut because of the overload, then the electrical supply may be stopped to the bulb. That may be also another reason why the bulb may not be glowing. Okay, so these four are the hypotheses made by Ramu in order to guess the possible reason behind why the bulb is not glowing. So after making hypothesis, now we need to move on to the next step. What is the next step? The next step is planning an experiment, because you need to now check your hypothesis. Okay, we have made some hypothesis, right? Ramu has made some hypothesis. Okay, after making the hypothesis, you have to test your hypothesis. Simply making hypothesis does not give you result. You need to test your hypothesis one by one. Then only you are able to find out what was the exact reason behind the problem. In this case, Ramu made a few hypotheses, right? Then after making the hypothesis, you have to plan an experiment. Means Ramu has to go, he has to observe the bulb, he has to observe the wire, he has to observe the switchboard and also switch. Isn't it? This is called planning an experiment. How do you plan that experiment? For that, first of all, we have to write down the steps that we will follow to test our hypothesis. In Ramu's case, Ramu need to list the equipment that he needed. For example, in Ramu's case, first of all, he has to search and identify a table or chair to stand on it to have a closer and clear view of the filament of the bulb. So, you know children, the first hypothesis that Ramu made was, what was it? The filament might have fused. So to check this hypothesis, what Ramu should do? Ramu should reach the bulb, he should take the bulb, and he should have a clear, closer look of filament so that he can identify whether the bulb is fused or not. Right? And for that, what he need? He need a table, because he is short. He need to stand on a table or chair so that he can have a clear look of the filament of the bulb. Okay, so this is how he has to make some arrangements. He can also go for a ladder or a stand like this, or he can use a table or chair. and next he has to bring the table or stool nearer to the bulb and step on the table. After that, carefully he has to remove the bulb from its holder with the hands, and then he has to see the condition of the filament in the bulb. So this is the procedure or the steps that he has to perform. Okay, remember that he has not completed these steps, he just planned an experiment. So this is the experiment that he planned to test his hypothesis. So in the next step, he has to conduct the experiment. So what you should do in this step? In this step, you have to follow the steps you have written. See, Ramu has written some steps. Okay, so these steps he has to follow. He will stand on a stool or on a bench, and then he will remove the bulb slowly. Then he has to observe the filament. Filament means when the filament is broken, that means there is a problem with the bulb. That is why the bulb is not glowing. Then afterwards, what he has to do? He has to draw conclusions, right, basing on the observations. For example, the filament of the bulb fused, hence the bulb is not glowing. When Ramu observed the bulb, he noticed that the filament of the bulb has been broken. When the filament is broken, the circuit becomes open. Is it not? So this is the reason behind the problem that he identified, and basing on that, now he has drawn the conclusion. What is the conclusion that he has given? He has given a conclusion that the filament of the bulb is fused. That's the reason why the bulb is not glowing. So he identified the problem, he made some hypothesis, and then he tested the hypothesis by conducting an experiment. Then he finally drew the conclusion that the filament of the bulb is fused. That's the reason why the bulb is not glowing. Okay, and after identifying the problem and after drawing the conclusion, you have to investigate further. For example, if your hypothesis is incorrect, Ramu's first hypothesis was that the bulb might have fused. If the bulb is alright, and the filament of the bulb also is alright, then what does it mean? It means that the first hypothesis was wrong. What was the first hypothesis? The first hypothesis was fused bulb. But here the bulb is alright. That means the first hypothesis is incorrect. When the first hypothesis that you have made is incorrect, that doesn't mean that you have failed. It means that you got one more opportunity to test another hypothesis that you made. Remember, Ramu did not made a single hypothesis. He made 4 hypotheses, right? What is the first one? Among them, the first one is the bulb might have fused, and the second hypothesis that he made is wire problem. Third one is switch problem. Fourth one is fuse problem. Isn't it? Out of the 4 hypotheses, so far he tested only one hypothesis. What is that? Fused bulb. And remaining 3 hypotheses he did not test. Isn't it? So when he tested the first hypothesis, the bulb, if the bulb is alright, that means this hypothesis was wrong. The bulb is alright. Now he can test the second hypothesis. What is the second hypothesis that he made? Wire problem. Now if the bulb is alright, still the bulb is not glowing, that means there was a problem with the wire, isn't it? Now again you need to plan an experiment and conduct experiment to test your second hypothesis. If the second hypothesis is correct, you can stop there. If the second hypothesis is wrong, again you can go for third hypothesis. That is, if the bulb is alright, second hypothesis, the wire is also alright, then where the problem? The problem may be in the switch. Now he can test the switch. Okay, if the switch is also alright, then he can test the fuse. Isn't it? Like that, till you get the answer to the question that you have posed, you can continue to investigate by making new hypothesis and testing the hypothesis until you succeed finding out the reason behind the problem. Okay children, and if your hypothesis is correct, no problem. If your hypothesis is correct, there ends the matter. You can draw a conclusion and you can communicate the result that you got to others. He can tell his father that the bulb is fused. Then his father will bring a new bulb. There ends the matter. Isn't it? So this is called scientific method. This is the simple example to explain the scientific process. In your daily life also, for the problems that you face, you can make use of this process called scientific process, and you can follow these steps. By following these steps, you can get the answers to the questions. Okay children, that's all for today. I hope that you understood the steps in the scientific method. In the next session, I will be discussing about different process skills. Okay children, I will meet you in my next session.